What the hell are you saying? You housekeeper, my mother-in-law snapped. What? A housekeeper? I'm freaking out. Yes, you're like a housekeeper in this house, she continued. You don't make much money, so you have to do your job as a housekeeper, my father-in-law added. We won't have any problem without you, my mother-in-law continued. I understand. Then I'll leave you without any hesitation, I replied. My name is Skylar, a 31-year-old housewife. My husband Rowan and I have been married for 2 years. We got married through the so-called shotgun marriage, so we have a 2-year-old daughter. My husband and I were originally classmates in high school, and we started dating when we met again at a class reunion. 2 years after we started dating, we found out that I was pregnant and got married. However, we were in our late 20s at the time, and it was quite normal to get married and have a child, so there was no problem. In fact, I got the impression that the birth of our child made the transition to motherhood smoother. We lived happily after the marriage. I took full maternity leave so I could concentrate on raising our child and being with her all the time. My husband loved her very much, and when he came home from work, he was always with her. We had a really good atmosphere in our home. But one thing disrupted this peaceful life: moving in with my in-laws. My mom and dad want me to move in with them, Rowan said one evening. What? Why? They're not that old yet, are they? I asked, feeling a bit surprised. No, but they've been telling me that for a long time. Being the eldest son, I'm supposed to live with my parents, he explained and continued. Well, I wanted to live with just you and our daughter as a newlywed, so I said no, Rowan admitted. But now that our kid is 3 years old, I think it's time for us to move in with them. Besides, my mom can help you with the housework, right? He added. I certainly appreciate that, I replied. I'm currently working part-time, but it's not easy to raise a child, work and do housework all at the same time. I don't see my in-laws frequently, but when I do, I can see how much they care for my daughter, and I don't have a negative opinion of them. I think we might be able to work things out if we move in together. I had a preconceived notion that living together would be difficult, but after thinking about it, it seemed like it wouldn't be a problem. So, I agreed to move in with them. But it seems that this decision was wrong. For the first month or two after we moved in together, my in-laws were courteous to me, or at least that's what it felt like. But gradually, my parents-in-law's attitude changed. Skylar, can we have dinner a little earlier? My mother-in-law asked one day. I'm sorry, when I pick up my daughter after work, it's usually around this time, I explained. If you work part-time, you should come home earlier, she replied bluntly. Well, it's my job, so... I started, but she cut me off. It's so half-hearted and it's really bothering me, she uttered. Why do they have to say that much? My work usually finishes around 4 p.m. Then I pick up my daughter from daycare, go to the supermarket, come home, and prepare dinner. So, dinner time is usually around 6 p.m. It's not particularly late, and my daughter is not home yet at that time. I mean, the mother-in-law doesn't do any housework, so why is she complaining about it? And since she lounges around all day, I'm sure she hasn't even digested lunch yet. And not only my mother-in-law, but also my father-in-law gradually changed his attitude toward me. You haven't cleaned the bathroom yet, he said sharply. Oh, I'm sorry, I was going to prepare dinner first, I replied, trying to stay calm. You're so slow, can't you do your chores more quickly? He snapped. What? I couldn't help but express my frustration. You're so useless, he shouted. My in-laws started to be harsh with me little by little. I couldn't hide my confusion. I knew I couldn't just leave this problem, so I talked to my husband about it. Why are your parents being so cold to me lately? I asked Rowan. What? Is this your imagination? He replied dismissively. No, it's not. They get absolutely angry over the slightest thing, I insisted. Well, maybe they want you to become a better wife. There's nothing wrong with that, Rowan said with a small smile on his face. I was totally wrong to ask him. Later, I realized I was wrong to marry him. My feelings for my husband gradually began to fade away. After that, my in-laws' attitude became worse and more demanding day by day. Hey, give me a massage, my mother-in-law demanded one evening. I haven't finished washing the dishes yet, I tried to explain. Don't talk back to me and come here quickly, she snapped. When I was forced to give a massage to my mother-in-law and was late washing dishes, My father-in-law snapped. Hey, the cup I always use hasn't been washed yet. You're so useless. Can't he wash his own cup? I couldn't understand why my in-laws' attitude had become so cold. I had no choice but to ask my husband to speak with them. My husband said it was too much trouble to speak with them, but when I pressed him, he reluctantly agreed to it. So, how did it go? What did your parents say? I asked hopefully. Well, they said something about part-time workers not having human rights, Rowan answered nonchalantly. What? What's that? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Anyway, they don't like the fact that you work part-time instead of full-time, he continued. But that's what you asked me to do. You asked me to work part-time because you can't raise kids and do housework at all. You told that to your parents, didn't you? I demanded. Well, I didn't think my parents had changed their attitude because of such a thing, so I was so surprised, and I didn't have time to tell them that, he said, looking away. That's impossible. I really don't know why I married him. He might already have abandoned me. I had half considered divorce immediately. I've lived like that for the sake of my daughter. There should be a father. But then one day I witnessed a terrible scene. It was the weekend and I was shopping at a grocery store. When I came home, my mother-in-law was sitting in the living room with my daughter. She suddenly said the most unbelievable thing to my daughter. Oh, if you were a boy, I would have been happier. Why did it have to be a girl? It's such a shame, she stated. I couldn't believe my ears. Could she be saying this to a 3-year-old child? I stepped in and said, Mother, please don't talk to my daughter like that. She looked startled and uttered, Oh, I didn't know you were home. Please take back what you just said, I demanded. No, why should I take back what I meant? She resented. What if she gets traumatized? I explained. She doesn't understand what I said. You're overreacting, she excused herself. I had already lost my patience. It's not about what she understands. It's about what you're teaching her. I won't let you harass my daughter, I said angrily. Harass you? She shot back. When have I ever harassed you? Are you pretend like you don't know? If you're not aware of it, you have a very twisted character, I responded. You? What are you talking about, a housekeeper? My mother-in-law asked, and I could feel her anger rising. A housekeeper? I asked, perplexed. That's right. You're just a housekeeper in this house, she snapped. While we were arguing, my father-in-law came into the living room. So noisy, I can't even read the paper. What's going on here? He asked. My mother-in-law quickly pointed at me. She's trying to start a fight with me, she stated. What? She's got a lot of nerve for a housekeeper, he muttered, clearly uninterested. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I see. You two call me a housekeeper right behind my back. You guys really are a bunch of assholes, aren't you? I accused them. Screw you. I don't deserve to be made fun of by a bum who works only part-time. You don't make much money, so you have to take care of the house as a housekeeper, my father-in-law said angrily. And you don't get to challenge your mother-in-law. You're worse than a housekeeper. You should leave already, he added. You got pregnant just to get our son's money so he wouldn't run away. That's what a woman with a bad character like you would do. We won't have any problems without you, my mother-in-law concluded. I stood my ground. Say whatever you want, that's enough. You all need a reality check, I finished. I decided right then to pack my bags and leave the house with my daughter. Just then, my husband, who had gone fishing, came back. Oh, Skylar, what are you doing with such a big suitcase? He asked, confused. I've been fired as a housekeeper, I replied coldly. What? He said, his face paling. I won't be coming back to this house anymore, so good luck on your own, I said, pushing past him. My mother-in-law sneered as she watched me leave. Well, now my son's earnings won't have to be exploited, she smirked. My husband's face was pale, but since he didn't say anything at this point, I was done. I took my daughter and went to my parents' house. The next day, I got a call from my mother-in-law. Hello? Do you still want something from me? I asked irritably. Oh, Skylar, I'm sorry for the terrible things I said yesterday, she began, her tone suddenly soft. This change in her attitude, she must have heard it from my husband. What happened all of a sudden? I asked. I had no idea. I apologize. Please come back, she pleaded. No, you don't need me, right? There's no need for me to come back, I told her. I didn't know that you were bringing money into this house, she said, her voice trembling. I was paying $1,000 a month to you out of my salary, I explained and continued. Even though I work part-time, I'm a nurse, so I make a decent amount of money. My husband has a full-time job, but to be honest, his pay is always quite low, so most of it goes to living expenses. That's why I was giving you money from my salary. In addition, we are saving for our daughter's tuition fees and other future expenses. My husband is a kind person, but perhaps because of his low self-esteem, he is quite vain. So, when I left your house, he couldn't tell you that his own income was low and that his wife was helping him out financially. But when he failed to protect me, it was over for me, I explained. I told my mother-in-law that I would not go back, no matter what she said, and hung up the phone. Then I sent a message to my husband, saying we would talk through my lawyer later. I blocked all the numbers from my in-laws. I then decided to file for divorce. I asked my husband for child support and also for alimony for his silent approval of my in-laws' endless harassment toward me. My ex-husband is almost penniless now, and he has to keep up with the payments. Of course, there is no way he could put money aside for my in-laws. They're in a situation where their desire for a luxurious lifestyle has depleted their savings rapidly. They have even started to depend on my father-in-law's retirement fund, and now, at this rate, it seems that it'll be difficult for them to get through the rest of their lives. Well, it's none of my business anymore, but I think they deserve all of this. Every time my ex-husband sees my daughter, he asks me to help him out because he's in trouble. One day I said, "If you keep bringing it up, I'm not going to let you see her anymore." He stopped asking me to help him altogether. I, on the other hand, went back to my parents' home and am working hard as a single mother. Since my mother takes care of my daughter, I can now work nights again, and my income has gone up even more. I will continue to work hard and earn a lot of money while watching my precious daughter grow up. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you like. See you in the next video.